From the Pep Radio Newsroom, these are the stories we are covering at this hour. Elon Musk says he'll be spending less time in Washington slashing government costs and more time running Tesla after his electric vehicle company reported a big drop in profits. Musk said on a conference call with analysts Tuesday that now that the major work of establishing the Department of Government Efficiency is done, that he will be allocating far more of my time to Tesla starting in May. Musk said he now expects to spend just a day or two per week on government matters. Tesla struggled to sell vehicles as it faced angry protests over Musk's leadership of Doge, a jobs-cutting group that has divided the country. The Austin, Texas company reported a 71% drop in profits and a 9% decline in revenue for the first quarter. Investors want to see him recommit to Tesla, said Wedbush Securities' Dan Ives. This is a big step in the right direction. Investors sent Tesla shares up more than 5% in after-hours trading, although they are still down more than 40% for the year. The company reconfirmed that it expects to roll out a cheaper version of its best-selling vehicle, the Model Y sport utility vehicle, in the first half of this year. It also stuck with its predictions that it will be able to launch a paid driverless robo-taxi service in Austin in June and have much of its fleet operating by itself next year. Now, if the richest person in the world is struggling to keep his company going, maybe he should spend more time at his company than he does destroying the U.S. government. Just a thought. In other news, a federal judge said Tuesday that the Trump administration is ignoring court orders obstructing the legal process and acting in bad faith by refusing to provide information about the steps they have taken, if any, to free a mistakenly deported man from an El Salvador prison and return him to the United States. For weeks, defendants have sought refuge behind vague and unsubstantiated assertions of privilege, using them as a shield to obstruct discovery and evade compliance with this court's orders. U.S. District Judge Paula Zenas wrote in her order on Tuesday. Defendants have known at least since last week that this court requires specific legal and factual showings to support any claim of privilege, yet they have continued to rely on boilerplate assertions. That ends now. She gave the administration until 6 p.m. Wednesday to provide those details. The U.S. Supreme Court ordered the Trump administration nearly 2 weeks ago to facilitate Kilmar Abrego Garcia's return to the United States from a notorious Salvadoran prison, rejecting the White House's claim that it couldn't retrieve him after mistakenly deporting him. And now news that involves Pete Hegseth that is not being shared currently on Signal. A group of 14 Senate Democrats sent a letter to Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth demanding to know if the Department of Defense is following court injunctions blocking the president's executive order banning transgender people from serving in the military. The April 22nd letter notes that U.S. District Judge Anna Rice and U.S. District Court Judge Benjamin Hale Settle both issued national injunctions against the president's trans-military ban in March, days before the Department of Defense said it would start dismissing trans soldiers. These injunctions were timely as the Defense Department was scheduled to begin implementing the ban on March 28, 2025, despite several military experts and former leaders characterizing this rapid timeframe as rushed, alarming, and brutal, the letter states. The letter's signatories asked Hegseth how much taxpayer money will be spent to implement the ban, how much has been spent on legally defending it, and how much has been spent training the trans soldiers that the president and Hegseth now want to kick out. The senators also asked whether any trans military members were prematurely dismissed, whether the military made any efforts to help reintegrate these people into civilian life, and what the Department of Defense is doing to help trans military members harmed by the president's order. The letter also notes that nearly 20% of the trans community are current military service members or veterans, a significantly higher rate than the approximately 7% of all U.S. adults fitting these categories. It also notes that approximately 0.4% of American people choose to serve in the U.S. Armed Forces. That's the news at this hour. If you are watching our videos on the YouTube channel, please subscribe and check out our added news blasts that will be on all our current social media. For now, let's get back to more music on Pep Radio.